Health and wellness are more than a destination. They are a process and a journey of personal choice. Come hear from people out in the field, doing the work, bringing health and wellness to many. Hi, welcome everyone today. Today is such a beautiful day here in Amsterdam, and we are really lucky and fortunate to have Henrike Hendrikson, who is going to speak with us today about her work. She is a Pansori holistic vocal healer, which I had never heard of before. I'm sure, I don't know if you have, but I find it fascinating, your work, Henrike. I'm so excited to hear about it today. Let's talk a little bit about your background. You were a classical singer at first, right? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for having me, Kathleen. Yes, I will tell about my background. I'm actually a classical trained singer at the conservatory. And in my childhood, I was always interested in music, singing, dancing. So in the end, I decided to study classical music, classical singing.
Can you tell me a little bit about your classical singing background? Very curious.
As a child, I was always fond of music and singing, dancing. So I decided to go to the conservatory to study classical music because I love to sing that old music that really enriched me. But also I heard, of course, many colleagues who also sang, and I noticed that I was really fascinated by the sound of their voice, not even the text or the great poems who are set on music, but the sound. And what I actually also noticed was after a concert, or as someone who had sung or I sung, there was a silence. I noticed that some musicians, there was a very loaded or big silence, and by some musicians it didn't appear. So I thought, what's that? What is that magical moment after that all the noise were there and the music, and what is that? So actually my search is also a part is also initiated partly by that silence. So that's maybe, it sounds like a paradox for a singer who is totally in the medium of sound, but the silence is a very big part of it.
So what does that silence give to you?
Yeah, the silence I would say is an entrance to the field of possibilities.
That is so beautiful, infinite possibilities. I find that amazing, that whole concept. Is that something that brought you to healing with your voice?
Yes. After the conservatory, I felt that I had one hand full and one hand empty. And what I mean with that was I sensed that there was actually far more embedded in that voice. So I went searching, of course, that's what you do then. And I found the Lichtenberg Institute in Germany, and they had a special approach to the voice, and it has to do with the sensoric system. They stimulate the sensoric system, and what is also key in that method is the self-organization of the voice and the embodied sound. And what do I mean with that is that the sound actually can enter your body and make a really contact on the cell level and with the tissue, with the organs, and has a tremendous effect. So this has all to do how you make connection with that voice. Are you doing that this with from the motoric way or the sensoric way. And when you sing from the sensoric system, the mucous membrane is without willing, it is going to vibrate. And then when that happens, actually high frequencies are get stimulated. So, and what I mean with high frequencies in the voice is the 3, 5 and the 8,000 hertz are linked to the sacred geometric, and they are a sequence in the Fibonacci sequence.
As you're speaking, I'm thinking about how beautiful music is and how it can really affect people. It can either make them, you can hear a piece of music and you can be sad or you can be excited, or it really can stimulate your entire body and your soul. So is this what you use as a basis for the healing?
Yeah, music can actually enter on all our levels. We call them the PEMS levels, and it's the physical, the emotional, mental, and the spiritual, social levels. It works on the cells.
I'm curious, how does the sound then influence a cell? Because you said it influences a cell, and that's your work, and I'm so curious about this. So how does the sound itself, I know sound is a frequency.
Yes.
How does it influence our cells?
So realize that you are energy. So we have of course a body, but we are also built from energy. So we have an energetic field, and the sound can easily travel in that energetic field and can influence the body and that field. Through that field, it can influence the body and the cells.
And we know that because when we hear music, we're influenced.
Yes, you are touched.
So beautiful.
We are influenced by music, so we get emotional, or we get inspired, or we get influenced. It really touches us. You can say, "Oh, I was really touched by that piece of music, or by that voice," or that's.
So it's literal.
Yeah, it's literal, but also it influenced our energy. So both.
Maybe that's why some people they're so unique that some people are influenced by sound, like the same piece of music, they love it, and the others don't love it because of how they interpret that frequency in their system.
Yes, yes.
That's so beautiful.
And that has all to do where you are in life, actually.
Yeah.
So I can tell you about Emoto, the Japanese artist who has a few years ago made a project over, he has water crystals, and he played music for it, or he put words on it, and after that he put them on a microscope, and then you could see a structure. So and he has a beautiful project, and you can see there how words and music influence the water, and realize that your body and my body is also for 80% exists of water. So you
amazing.
can imagine how a sound can easily influence our body and our cells.
Yeah, so sacred geometry would be more, like you use that word, that would be a geometry that is coherent perhaps,
yes,
cohesive, clear. And when people are not well, I assume that their body chemistry is out of balance.
Yes.
Whereas you would have an environment then in your water, in your body, that is not clear.
Yes, and what sound, the ability or the possibility of sound is that it always seeks a certain balance. When there are those high frequencies in the voice, I told you about the 3, 5 and 8,000 hertz, then the sound can remind the body to search or to remember its own balance again.
Interesting.
Yes.
So it kind of is, because everything's frequency, actually.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Or
Even this table.
Yeah.
We don't think that this table's frequency, but there is a frequency of this
Yes,
table.
yes.
And because it looks totally hard, right? But
Yeah.
actually, in quantum physics, it's not hard at all. It's totally space in,
Yes.
in this table. And we're the same, our bodies.
We are the same. Yeah, you know the example of the opera singer who can sing the glass
Breaking.
Breaking.
Yeah.
So what she actually, or he actually does, is go find the right frequency of the glass, and then the glass is coming into resonance, and then it says boom.
Because
So-
it says, in a way, I'm not meant to be a glass. I'm atoms. That's funny, huh? Yeah, because we make it the glass.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we can. But then it says, wait a minute, this is not its natural thing to be a glass. I'm meant to be like just atoms out there, and so it goes to its natural.
And that's also the glass is, you can say, a metaphor for our thoughts or our conditionings of our belief systems, of our blockades. So you can imagine when you come in resonance with those
blockages.
Blockages, yes, that's the word.
Yeah.
Blockages. Then they get come into movement, and they can move, and they can change.
Yeah, so part of the idea with illness or imbalance is that our cells have gotten an energetic block.
Yes.
And so if we just look at it like that, then we understand that our cells really, illness and wellness, the difference, illness here, wellness here, I always say we're somewhere in between. But if things get to the illness point, things are pretty blocked. Tell me something about that. How is this Pansori method, how is it in science based? Has it been researched?
Yes, it is actually. There is a professor, Bob, and he is working with biophotons, and he has discovered that your body is receiving light, and in time it releases light. So that is his
philosophy.
Yeah, his discovery. And now you can imagine, the more light a body contains, the more healthier, or the more balanced the body or the system is.
Yeah, and I know that myself from helping people for many years as a nurse, that I know when people are near death, their light goes down.
Yeah.
As they're leaving the body, and as they're sick, very, very sick, they have less and less light.
Yeah.
So they can actually make less connection with the people because they're leaving.
Yeah.
So that's also interesting.
Yeah, there's also a saying, the light went out, or the light, you have lights in your eye, or so in our language you can find traces of that. That
understand that's science.
Yeah, yes.
So is this science, according to Dr. Pop? Is that something that they've done a lot of research on?
Yes, they measured the light of the biophotons before the singing and afterwards, and they saw that cells and the light in the body was more coherent, was more activated.
That's so beautiful.
That's
wow,
actually
I
true.
love that.
Yes.
That's
and
amazing.
And I have also, with my befriended professor, we set up a research project, and we are collecting data actually. So I sing for people, and we measure before the intervention and after the intervention by saying their name.
Oh.
So Kathleen Berkens.
Nice.
So actually the professor, he's come to the point that in your name that there is your whole history and your whole essence.
Wow.
And to say your name, so we record the name. So for example, you are my client, you say Kathleen Birkens, then I sing for you, and after the intervention you say your name again and we record it. And then we have two names, and he has a computer...
A device, like a device to measure.
Yes. And he has a computer program, and he has... and he can see what the outcome is of that.
This is so amazing.
So it's very excited, and we are,
well, I know,
in this
like,
work.
I know
Yet.
in many universities, they are studying the effect of sound on the body.
Yes.
So it is going into mainstream.
Yes.
And it just takes time now. And I do believe one of the universities is even studying the effect of a person's voice or sound on cancer. So that's also coming.
Yes.
There's all this research. But tell me something about the clients you've helped. That's interesting.
Good question. Yeah. I actually work with clients with psychosomatic complaints, people with migraine, or people with tinnitus, or people with who has to recover after a stroke or after a heart attack, even people with depression.
And what have you seen?
I have seen changes.
Okay, for the better, hopefully.
Yes, for the better. For the better. Changes, but this not only on the physical level, but also on the personal level and the emotional level, and that's why I call it also holistic, because it's not only it touches not only your body, but when your body is going to change, it has consequences for also your emotions. You feel better, you feel
maybe happier.
Different,
more joyful.
Yes, I have people came to me who said, "Oh, I never said that before. I am saying my truth now."
Oh, and that's interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
And so they were triggered on that level.
So you were explaining this whole concept of Emoto, which is amazing. It's so beautiful, and I love it because it really helps us to understand how we're really looking in more depth now at how everything can affect the body. Really interesting. Mm-hmm. Tell me something about the word entrainment. You have explained that to me before. Can you share with us the science behind that word and your healing?
Then I have to go to an example. Entrainment has, imagine you enter a room and you see two pendles or two clocks which are ticking different. And it's actually Christian Huygens who discovered that that those two clocks, after a while, were ticking the same.
They start to vibrate together.
They start to vibrate together, exactly. And that is actually the simple explanation of entrainment. And that's also when we are together, or when a client comes, you go in entrainment, or my system is resonating with the system of the client.
That's beautiful. So this makes me interested about the cells again. So do cells that are healthy you said they have more light, but does that mean they have a certain frequency?
Yes, of course.
And are they then directly influenced by these higher notes that you talked about? The notes...
3, 5, 8,000 hertz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about how those frequencies influence the cells a little deeper?
A little deeper, yes. I told you already about the balancing effect of the sound, and the sound is actually a bridge. We call it a bridge between the subtle world and the material world. So sound is in the here and now. You can make it with your voice, but when I'm silent, it's gone. You cannot touch it, but you can feel it. So it has best of both worlds.
Like an effect. It has an effect in that silence that you were talking about.
Yes.
So you sing or you say something, and then it keeps resonating.
Yes, it does. The sound is actually a bridge between the subtle world and the physical of the world of matter.
Tell me about balance in the body with frequency.
In connection with frequency, yes. Imagine you have an imbalance. It can be on any level.
So let's just say I have a headache, because you use that.
I told you about the entrainment. So my system is going in resonance with the system of the person with headache, and the sound can actually move that blockage, or that it will bring it in vibration. And when something is going to vibrate, it is seeking his own balance again.
So if somebody comes to you and you're singing, and this stuck energy starts to move and vibrate, then it can be released. Yes. And then you don't have your headache. That's basically what's happening.
But it gets released in a way that the body can handle it. So it will not force it. It is really in connection with what the system can managing.
And this is the sequence that is so... The sequence is pure coherence.
Yes.
It's pure, it's frequency that moves, that's happy, and we all have that frequency in our own unique way.
Yes, of course, our bodies always are seeking for a certain balance. So when you have a wound, it immediately starts to heal, to restore the balance. That's how your body is wired. And that is what you activate with the sound.
That is so beautiful. Wow. Tell me something about people who would want to study this. Where would they study if they wanted to do what you're doing?
They can go to the Lichtenberg Institute, but they can also look at the Pansori education and follow their course or their education.
How long was this education for you?
It was in Germany I studied 3 years, and with the Pansoric Living Sound I studied 4 years.
That's a lot.
Yes, it's
That's
a lot,
7 years.
but I did it with pleasure, and it's for me a great joy to be in the perceivement and in the medium of sound. It's really, it's really an intelligence, and to know one's body is also, it was really a great journey for me to discover that.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was amazing.
Yeah.
What do you see, what are your hopes and dreams for the world in the future? This is such a special time we're having.
Yeah, we are in a very special time, actually. What I really wish is that we come to become more subtle. And what I do mean with that is that we become more subtle in our thoughts, in our emotions, in our perceivement, in our actions.
Would you mean like subtle, like kind? Or listening, or reflective? Or?
All of that. And
maybe conscious, that people become more conscious.
Yes, conscious, but and I think that will help us to not to be stuck in our patterns or our thinking from, that's the only way, my way or the highway, or
it's true. That's what we see
so
right
black
now.
and white, duality, more to develop more sense of what is actually truth and what is actually happening, and that we develop our own tools to make a connection with the outer world, and not that the outer world direct us, but that
we realize our power.
Yes, that we are in charge,
and also of our voice, right, Henrike? So
yes, of course.
Tell me about that. Like, what would you advise everyone about their words, or how they use their words, or how they sing, or how, because this is an instrument actually that we use every day.
Yes, it is. Yeah, your voice can have a tremendous impact on people. Imagine I will shout at you. You will you get instantly that kind of reflex, and but that's very obvious, of course. But yeah, you have so many sayings from speaking your own voice, or be loud and clear, or there are so many ways of saying how important a voice is for people. But actually, of course, freely use of our voice can also help to be free on other levels.
I think it's really important, as I'm hearing this today, for us all to think about how we use our voice. And it does impact people. So how do you conduct a session?
I usually I stick to 1 hour, and you can, it's in general 3 parts. So a client comes to me and I ask, what can I sing for? And it can be for the headache, or for loneliness, or recovering after a heart attack. Then the patient of the client is lying or sitting on a chair, and I touch. I always ask, "Can I touch you?" And I start actually at the shoulders, and then I sing for about 5 or 10 minutes, just to explore
the field.
Yeah. And to let the field or the system know that I'm there and I'm open for a dialogue.
That's
so yes, to open for a dialogue, so it can be awakened, also know that it is safe, and to open up. Then I, after 5 or 10 minutes, I do a little feedback. So from what you experienced, what comes up. And some people, they see colors, or they get immediately emotions, or they feel pain in their chest, or no, there can be a variety of things. And the second phase, I go deeper into what has popped up.
So these are the blockages that you start to sense.
Yeah, it can. So I go deeper in connection with that, of the sound is going deeper in connection. And then in the third phase, it's very important that what the client has experienced, of what has been touched, that the client can integrate that in their lives and has understand it and can own it, what they have, what their system actually reveals. In general, I advise 3 sessions, but some people are so moved after 1 session that it's enough. Or some people need 10 sessions, but I advise so 3 sessions, and then things get really in a process.
After today, I can really see how you help people heal. And I'm so excited to see this today. Are you ready to get started to show us? I'm looking so forward.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Henrike.
Hi, Jeff. Welcome. Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
Come in. How are you doing?
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
I'm here. I've got some tinnitus issues.
Great.
Thought maybe it would be great to be appropriate to do this for that.
Yes, we can. We can look at it. I will invite you to
Lay down.
Lay down. Yes. So Jeff, tell me, you come for tinnitus. Do you remember when it started, the tinnitus?
It seems to me about 3-4 years ago.
3-4 years
something
ago.
like that.
And was there a big change in your life then?
Well, yeah, I was kind of having a career change. There was a lot of stress around that.
Okay.
I don't notice it all the time, but it comes sometimes more than others. I can notice it right now.
What I discovered of what I have experienced is that tinnitus has often to do with stress. So I'm going to sing. I'm moving to your head, and can I touch it?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, and then you can close your eyes and just experience what comes to you.
Okay.
So there is nothing you have to do or have to expect, or just be in the moment. What was your first impression, or what did you experience?
Well, I suddenly realized that I was breathing more freely and more deeply.
Okay.
And then I was listening for my tinnitus. It has normally somewhere a mid-range frequency, and it sounded like it was going up higher.
Yes.
And then it was quieting down a little bit.
Okay. So you would say that the tinnitus was moving.
Yeah.
It was moving.
Yeah, I
Yes?
noticed. That's what I noticed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you notice that before?
No, not like that.
No.
I either notice it's there or it's not. That's kind of
Okay. Switches on, switches off.
yeah, that's
Okay.
kind of.
You really have to experience this. So I can tell about it, but you have to experience it with your own body. So, how was this for you?
felt very comfortable and like I'm laying on the table, but kind of vibrating above it somehow. I could feel a strong vibration.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for subscribing. Next month, we're going to hear from a scientist who's going to teach us a little bit about the new sciences.